Okay. So just to make sure that we are good with this, all right, I asked you, all right, you are going to write it as 3x minus 9 is less than or equal to 27. Then you were to write 3x minus 9 is greater than or equal to negative 27. And then when you solve this, 3x is less than or equal to 36. So x is less than or equal to 12. 3x is greater than or equal to negative 18. So x is greater than or equal to negative 6. So now you're thinking, if I'm less than 12 and greater than negative 6, that means what? Yes. So you're going to say it is all of the solutions between negative 6 and what? Now, notice I left a number line down there just for those you guys who are struggling seeing numbers. All right, but I prefer that you not write it on the number line. All right, only if you need it. All right, only if you need it.
We write two solutions, one like it's one not.
Wait a minute. This is the solution.
Yeah.
This is the work to that solution. That's what I want. All right. In a minute, you'll see when it's an or statement, you will use a union. All right. So with that being said, let's try number 8. All right. Just to make sure, see how you did last night. So again, 2x minus 7 greater than or equal to 13. And then we would say 2x minus 7 is less than or equal to negative 13. So when I add 7, 2x greater than or equal to 20. So x is greater than or equal to 10. Over here, 2x is less than or equal to negative 6. So x is less than or equal to negative 3. Now you're still supposed to try to visualize. Can you be greater than 10 and less than negative 3?
No.
No, that's how you know it was an or statement. All right. So if that's not true, if you're less than negative 3, you're from negative infinity to negative 3, bracket, union, bracket, 10 to infinity. All right. Does anybody have any issues with that? Yeah. Yes, it does matter because you read from what? You with me on that? And again, what I also am trying to show you is, look, everybody take a look at this. I want everybody to understand this is just a condensed what?
Number line.
It's just a condensed number line. That's all it is. Right? Instead of making the number line, I was just able to pull it right off the number line. All right, does everybody see that? And again, I always say I don't know what the problem is. All right. To me, it's logical, kind of easy. All right. But you got to be thinking about it as we're doing it. All right. Anybody have any questions?
No.
All right. So let's skip down to question number 11. So what is the problem with number 11? What? Absolute value. Right. Yes. Now we say it's not isolated. It's not isolated. So the first thing we have to do is just do what? Add 4. So I have absolute value of x is less than or equal to what? There you have it. So if x is less than or equal to 5, that means x is less than or equal to 5. X is, there you go. So now you're thinking in your head, less than 5, greater than negative 5 means everything what? Everything in between. That's how I want you to be thinking. All right. Now, I ask questions and some of you sometimes don't respond because you're afraid you don't want someone to know you might not know something. All right, but I can't help you. All right. Is anybody have any issues with that right there? All right. It's the same principle. You isolate the absolute value just like you isolated the absolute value when it was an equation. Now you isolate the absolute value even though it's an inequality. There's no difference. And then every time you have an absolute value, you're going to have how many solutions? 2 solutions. All right. That's just the nature of it. All right. So with that, I just want to continue down. Look at number 13. All right, so of course on number 13, I'm just going to add 9, correct? And what is that? And then I'm going to divide by 3, which makes it. So again, we are practicing. Absolute value of x is less than 7. So we would say x is less than 7. We would say x is less than 7, and then we would say x is what? Greater than -7. So eventually you'll start to see that the less than is the what? And the greater than is the what? Or. That's generally, but it's not something you have to remember because you want to understand numbers, and that's the result. All right, so we just say it's a parentheses, correct? From -7 to 7. Everybody happy with that? All right. Now, number 4 probably is not the hardest one, but next to the hardest one. All right, so we just do what? Add 1 and then divide by 4. So now I'm left with the absolute value of x minus 3 is less than or equal to 4. Do we agree with that or not? Anybody have any issues with that? Kind of easy, right? All right, so from there, we just write x minus 3 less than or equal to 4. X minus 3 is greater than or equal to what? -4. So x is less than or equal to what? X is greater than or equal to. And so now we're thinking less than 7 greater than -1. So it is. Yes, it is an and statement. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. All right, please, everybody take a quick note of 17. All right. Now, I always mention this to kids because everybody forgets. What am I eventually going to be dividing by? So what happens? Yeah, the signs flip. All right. And if you forget that on the test, that's probably, 20-25% of the test, maybe. All right. So you just have to be careful. You have to make yourself a note. Whenever you multiply or divide by negative, change the inequality sign. All right, because we are great, we can just look at that and say, I'm going to do what with the 1? And then I'm going to divide by. So everybody's going to write down 9 minus 4x is what? Greater than what? 3. Is everybody okay with that? Wait, what up?
So you subtract 1 from 20 and get negative. Okay, yeah.
All right, now we're going to go ahead and write it again. 9 minus 4x is greater than 3. 9 minus 4x is less than -3. So -4x is greater than -6. So x is what?
Less than 2.
Is that right? Anybody else get less than 3/2?
Yeah.
And if I'm doing the other side, it's going to be -4x is less than -12. Therefore, x is greater than 3. And I leave a number line there because some kids have trouble. But if I'm greater than 3 and less than 3/2, I'm running in what? Opposite directions, correct? And we read numbers left to right. So we're saying from -infinity to 3/2 union 3 to infinity. All right, believe it or not, guys, that's kind of hard. All right, if you're looking at that going, that's simple, that's really good. All right, that's kind of hard. Yeah.
So why'd you flip the like,
I don't know what you're saying.
so you have -4x, it's less than -12, and then this x is greater than 3.
What did I do?
Divided
By a what?
by negative.
So what do I do to the inequality sign? You with me? Right, so again, that's just something, if you don't practice, right, that's why I'm saying, that's why we do homework, to practice, so you make mistakes, you figure out, you learn from your mistakes. All right. It's easy to forget on the test, multiplying and dividing by a negative. All right, here we go. So number 19, I just have to do what? multiply by 3. So I'm having 2x minus 9 is greater than what? 21.
Yeah.
Now we write it twice. We got 2x minus 9 is greater than 21. 2x minus 9 is less than negative 21. So now 2x is greater than, so x is greater than, so 2x is less than, so x is, and if you're looking at that carefully, you can see they go in opposite directions, right? Thank you so much. You're exactly correct. All right, let me see something here. Let me see if there's anything challenging. There's nothing challenging. All right. So with that being said, I feel like we're good. Now, please listen. I don't like the playing around. It's Friday. All right. Trying to give you a little bit of nice little break. All right. Now, if for any strange reason you're having trouble with inequalities, it's not that you have a free weekend, but you have a free weekend to do what? Yeah, study the inequalities, all of these sections. If there was something you didn't know, you need to go look it up. All right. And while you are doing that, well, I was going to say I'll collect your homework, but I didn't. All right. So this is the only assignment. All right. You have all the assignments that are on inequalities that are going to be on the what? That are going to be on the test. All right. So your job right now is finish this up, do a good job, and then over the weekend, study if there's a problem. What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it does. My secretary is just messing up.
Are you your own secretary?
No, I am not. I pay someone to do my work for me.
Really?
Of course. That's a less than. Really? Do you think someone would just less than or equal to? Thank you. All right. So everybody understands what I'm saying. All right. We don't have, and I'm just trying to tell you guys, you don't want to be close because we have a short 9 weeks. Everybody understand what I'm saying, right? And I don't have a lot of grades. So if you are one to worry about a grade and oh my gosh, I might get a B, so it's going to be the end of the world. All right. Then you need to study over the weekend. That's what you need to do. And don't whine to me on Thursday when I told you should be studying. You make a C. All right. That's not my fault. All right. You have 2 days to prepare. All right. Yes.
So for the absolute value when it has like a negative sign, if it's within the absolute value marks, it doesn't mean anything. It's -7.
Right. No. You just write 4x minus 7 is less than or equal to, then you write 4x minus 7 is greater than or equal to. All right. All right, guys. You know what to do, please. I've got lots of work to do as well. All right. You got your neighbors next to you. All right. We're getting the work done. All right. Double checking with your neighbor to make sure the answer is correct. All right. And then the only thing that people mess up, absolute values are 2 equations on the test. Everybody blows that. And then people forget multiply or divide by negative, change the inequality sign. But compound inequalities, if I were going to say study anything, I would say look over the compound inequalities. No, they're not.
The one that we did the other day, 5, 4.